Alright, here we are. Another day in the dungeon. Putting a little work on the twin cam swap. Got the exhaust mounted up. Just got to finalize it with a bracket. Going to use the rubber mount here. Flat strap to the clamp here. But besides that, it's a super trap head pipe and then some sort of cone engineering muffler. Basically what all these people make now. So cool, trendy, works, light, strong. Got the brake breaking, that's all set up. Got the master in there, linkage made. I didn't go with the Japanese master cylinder like I was saying in the other video. I just used the later model FXR master. You know, plenty of room, and I feel like the spring in the master cylinders on the Japanese bikes is a lot softer because the pedal's a lot lighter. So the brake will feel weird. I have that on my bike. It took a little while to get used to. Sometimes you hit the brake, it feels like it's not even going to work, but it's working perfectly. So I just went with the Harley Master. What I did was I just piece of angle iron, and I drilled a hole in the center for the master and then squared it out with a little file, and that's basically like the factory tab. And then the linkage is Dyna, and then I cut it, and then that's just the stud, that's the thread of the master, and I welded it up, tacked it up, and everything works good. Also, if you're going to do something like this, when you're mounting this master, make sure you got your banjo in there, because if you mount this too far back and then go to put the bolt in, this part of the frame's in the way. So you got to have enough clearance to take this out. You get what I'm saying? That shit's just tacked up, but I mean, you know, another thing I noticed, when you use the Dyna cross member, the frame is a little wider, and this stuff sticks out a little more than the foot controls would on a regular FXR. But when you do these swaps, sometimes you got to get the correct cover, like an FXR with the cable on the bottom, because the way the bracket is for the foot peg mount. But being as how the Dyna cross member pushes this out a little more, you can use the other one. It's barely touching it. Which these are a lot easier to get. Trying to think what else we got going on here. That's really it. Kind of a lot of work, kind of a little progress. One of those things. Gonna move on to the tank next. Make somebody, I mean, fucking look at these people, what they do. But I'm gonna make the correct mount, so that'll go there good. And, I mean, there's really not much else to do. We're getting there. You know, there's a lot going on the internet, people with the twin cam swaps and this and that. You know, I didn't get this bike and take it all apart to do a twin cam swap. This was a pile of parts, basically. Drivetrain out of a wreck salvage bike. A frame I got with a title that somebody already started doing the twin cam conversion. Twin cam swap. Not really my thing. Funny thing, you know, I'm doing it, but I'd rather have a good Evo with the good tranny and stuff behind it. You know, I do these swaps, truthfully. It's more for the stuff behind the motor, not so much the motor. You get better transmission, better clutch, better ring gear and pinion gear, starter stuff wise. Primary wise, you got the latest style clutch basket in here with the bolts. You don't need to use a crazy tool to take the clutch apart. So when you're on the road, that's one less thing you got to carry. You can just take this apart and pull it apart with some tools. You don't need no specialty tools. They're geared taller. These primaries got the smaller basket and I think one tooth up on the comp. So the bike ends up being a faster bike. You know, even stock than an Evo. But it's not so much the power of the motor. It's everything else behind it is jiving better. You know, it's just working better. So, you know. But this is where we're at. Trying to think what else is going on. Not much there to do. So. And you get the better swing arm with all that stuff. But I spoke about that in the other video. You know, this is great. 1-inch axle. You don't got to worry about bending your axle. It's a lot stronger. But now you got to carry this big fucking wrench to take this nut off. They get 90 pounds. So you either got to carry the socket or the wrench. You're not just, you know, it's not just a regular hex nut. And you got the spherical bearing in the front of the swing arm, which is better. You don't get the wobble. But, you know, those can take out the fucking transmission case and take out the back of the front of the swing arm. So everything's got its good and bad. But this is where we're at. Gonna run a belt on this thing. Somebody was asking about that. Just gonna leave the belt. Yeah, man. All right. That's it, man. Until next time. Ciao.